What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So, as you might have seen by the title, your man the YB just finished speaking to someone close to, or in one of Tyson Fury's family members, and they've basically given me the rundown on this whole Tyson Fury, what happens next saga. Yeah. Now, just in case you man don't know, if you've been living under a rock, essentially, where we find ourselves right now, 10th November 2021, Tyson Fury pushed Deontay Wilder's wig all the way back for him. Right back. Yeah? Stephen A. Smith hairline back. That's, yeah? When I say back, I mean Stephen A. Smith hairline back. No doubt. All the way back. 100%. As back as it can go. Yeah? His champion. You got Mr. Mandela Gandhi, Anthony Mandela Gandhi Joshua, all floppy looking. So right now, Tyson Fury meant to be the man. 2-2s. He beats Wilder. Then, for the last 4 weeks, all we've heard is a campaign of Fish Eyes Warren, John Fury, and now we've heard the words, or you're about to hear the words, from a family member who spoke to Tyson. So now we're going to get it out of the horse's mouth, but essentially, like I said, in summary, over the last 4 weeks we've heard a lot of narrative. Fish Eyes Warren has said, Dillian White will fight, Tyson Fury will do what he wants. May he retire? He may retire. Because even Fish Eye, John, the dangerous thing here is, there is a strong narrative right now. John Fury has said, if he should retire, he's got nothing else to prove. Dillian White's no good. But I find it quite ironic because 6 months ago, I think, John Fury was really adamant that Dillian White's been done wrong. Which shows you there's no consistency or substance with these cats. But, to Fury's credit to some extent, I didn't think he'd ever go in there with Wilder again. Even though I thought he'd win the fight, but either way, he went in there, so I'll give him some credit. He's shown that he's not all the way scary. He's not 10 for 10 scary. Yeah? God knows why the whole court thing had to happen, but anyway. And to be honest, that shows how kind of precarious this situation really is, because we all know, or we now know for sure, how the Wilder versus Fury fight played out. But so you got to ask yourself now, what was in Tyson Fury's head to make Wilder take him to court? And it's all kind of coming out in the wash now. Tyson Fury was injured and this, that, the other, and wow, all this for what? What was the point in doing all that? You could have watched him 18 months ago. Madness. But the reason I bring that up now is to say that, think about it. Tyson Fury wasn't scared of Deontay Wilder, but he still fannied around for 2 years for the sake of it, wasted millions of dollars in lawyers' fees, just to try and do what he wanted to do, which was not fight Wilder, because he felt like not fighting Wilder. So again, the reason that's relevant is, guess what? It's got nothing to do with fear. If Tyson Fury just decides that, yeah, well, I'm just going to keep the belt and not fight Dillian White, guess what? That's what he'll do, because he did it with Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, for all we know, will be happy to go to court and try and fight for another year. Because that's the precedent. The precedent is Tyson Fury has no problem being held up in court for 18 months, which would be a massive shame. But anyway, the good news is, now your man the YB, after a few days trying and speaking to my sources, we finally got the lowdown and the words out of the horse's mouth on this whole thing. So, like I said, I spoke to someone in Tyson Fury's team, and they've basically relayed to me they've spent about a few days actually with Tyson over the last month, and they've basically said the following. Yeah? And this is from one of Tyson Fury's family members. He said, I arrived in Morecambe, Tyson Fury's, obviously where Tyson Fury lives, a few weeks ago. The first day, we went out for a coffee, and I said, what do you do in regards to your future career? Do you retire? Do you hang 'em up? Tyson Fury said, well, I'm thinking that way, I'm leaning that way at the moment. But, then he said, on the other hand, what else am I going to do with my life? Now we know Tyson Fury loves to train, he loves to fight, and although there are no challenges out there for him at the moment, he can still take a lot of pleasure in cleaning out the division and beating up these other guys and also earn a hell of a lot of cheese and bread and coins while doing it. He likes Dillian White. He likes the Dillian White fight. He thinks Dillian White's kind of sweet. He is enthused by that. That's what he is talking about to me. So I can see that being the next one. So, the bottom line is, Tyson Fury's family... So, the bottom line is, Tyson Fury's family member has told the YB that he kind of, right now, he kind of looking forward to Dillian White fight. Yeah? Tyson Fury has said he likes Dillian White fight. He's infused by it. He thinks Dillian White's kind of pretty looking. I think kind of sweet. Yeah? Thinks it's sweet, that's it. What can I say? Yeah? I've heard from the horse's mouth, from a friend of a friend of a friend, Tyson Fury thinks Dillian White is kind of sweet and good looking. He's pretty looking. He's sweet. Yeah? Tyson Fury said that, to me, Dillian's sweet. Now, to other people, for example, right now, AJ, when AJ looks at Dillian, he don't see nothing sweet. He sees a hard night's work. He sees hanging on the ropes for the last 10 rounds. Yeah? Because guess what? AJ looks at cruiserweights and thinks, damn, that's hard work. Yeah? AJ hasn't seen sweetness since about 2015, 2016, at best. That was the last time AJ saw anything sweet. Yeah? He saw 50-50 with Ruiz. He saw 50-50 with 50-year-old Vlad. It's a fact. Because guess what? If I was in the corner with AJ against Vlad, Vlad would have been munched. Yeah? Would have gone in there, no fanning around. Gone in there, chin down, elbows in, waded forward. Yeah? All the shots would have landed on the gloves and arms. And then he'd have got the body. Yeah? And I'm telling you now, Vlad would have folded. Trust me, we'd have give Vlad flashbacks of them early fights back in 2000s. And guess what? Throughout camp, I'd have told AJ, practice whispering in Vlad's ear and tell him, Manny Stewart ain't here to help you now. Just me and you in here. Oops, yeah, Manny gone. Yeah, just me and you. That's what he'd be whispering, 100%. Instead, AJ pays his multi-million-dollar team to have him doing what? He ain't doing no whispering. Because guess what? Them man ain't got the IQ to tell him what to whisper. I got all the IQ. I got all the points. Trust me. Vlad would fall apart from just the YB's. Listen, never mind the fighting part. Never mind Africanulese. Yeah? Your man the YB's lyrics would have Vlad folding in the corner. Yeah? I give him 100%. I give him flashbacks. Too much lyrics. Too much IQ in the lyrics. Yeah, what you might tell me? What would Vlad do with AJ touching him to the body whilst whispering in his ear that Manny Stewart ain't here to bail you out this time? Yeah, there ain't even a bit of Manny Stewart in your corner. You've got twitchy Jonathan Banks, the knockoff, the cheap knockoff who ain't no good. That's what you got. Yeah, you need Manny. Manny ain't here. Yeah, and in fact, I'll tell AJ to whisper in his ear. Even if Manny was here, he still couldn't save you, because I got the YB in my corner. Yeah, oops. Yeah, what we know is YB versus Manny. that only ended one way. Yeah. So anyway, where was I? We're talking about listen, Tyson Fury right now. Tyson Fury, Dillian White. Listen, I'm over this whole stuff. To be fair, truth be known. Yeah. I'm looking to get out of this game. This game's kind of dry now, to be fair. Kind of dry. Oh, is Tyson Fury going to do this? Is Tyson Fury going to do that? Listen, man. John Fury, I've seen you've been wheeled out by BT Sports. They've wheeled you out to just try and play the political game. And I hate to say it, but I mentioned it a few times already, but listen. This whole narrative game of, Tyson Fury can retire and Tyson Fury's already turned out the division. This reminds me of exactly what happened in the AJ build-up in March 2021. What do we know? It's not me, I'm just telling you what happened. Yeah? Back in March 2021, Fish Eyes Warren, John Fury, and everyone else who had an opinion, who was close to the situation, what was they saying? Oh, we can't do it, it's C19, and they had a consistent narrative. Now, fast forward 6 months, what are we hearing? John Fury, Fish Eyes. They're all saying, yeah, but he can do what he wants, and there's nothing left for him, and he can retire. Ricky Hatton came out and said, you need to forget about AJ and retire, and what's wrong with these guys? Part of me thinks that people don't want others to be, it's like Andre Ward, here's another one. Andre Ward was saying, Tyson Fury ain't got nothing to prove, and Ward, just because you ran off when you saw Alvarez coming up, Just because you know what I'm saying? Just because you didn't fancy none of Alvarez, don't mean other people shouldn't aspire to actually beat more than one person. Now, I give Andre Ward credit. Yeah, you beat one man once. Oops. Yeah, you beat one man once. And you way you carry on like you're some big gangster. Ward, you had one good fight, honestly. I give Ward credit for one fight. Kovalev 2. That's it. When was the last time you saw Ward stop anyone decent? Oops. Yeah? So yeah, like I said, you had one good fight in your whole career. That's all you had. You'll be known for having one decent fight. And by the way, Alvarez did a better job at it. Taylor, I know he didn't, but either way, he won you. Yeah? So everyone gassing Tyson Fury up. If I was Tyson Fury, if I was advising Tyson Fury, and we know the YB not only is likely the number one trainer in the world, he's also the number one manager. Yeah, the number one what's that word? Strategician. Either way, yeah, that word there. Yeah, number one strategician. Strategician. That's not it. Strategician. I don't know what the word is, but that word there. I'm number one, 100%. I am the number one. Strategician, whatever that word is, yeah, that one there. That's what I am, 100%. I can't say it, but I'm one of them ones. Yeah, I can't. I can't speak it for the life of me, but trust me, I'm that one. Yeah, number one. I tell Tyson Fury, Tyson, never mind all these weird, funny style dudes who are trying to hate on you. Like if I was Tyson Fury's dad, although actually to be fair, I can see both sides. From Tyson Fury's dad's point of view, he's probably thinking, in fact, he's even verbalised. He's said himself that it's my son and I don't want him to be damaged and he can't have any more hard fights like that. So I guess I haven't had kids. But equally, I mean, John Fury rant and raves about being a fighting man. And this is how you know, really, John Fury ain't a fighting man. Because, guess what? I think his uncle's a real fighting man. What's the guy's name? But, I forgot his name, but he was a proper travelling hard ass. Proper. Not talking. He'd actually be in there, but Gorman. But Bartley Gorman? Something like that. Either way. There was a documentary on him, yeah? And he literally went out fighting. He fought the whole way through. That there, and that's what I'll be. If I was around Tyson Fury, if the number one strategician was around Tyson, strategician, yeah? That word. If the number one strategician was around Tyson Fury, he'd be telling him, don't listen to your funny styled pops. Don't listen to funny style Andre Ward. Yeah? Listen to your great uncle Gorman. Because what would he be telling you? He wouldn't be telling you, well, let's hang around. Oh, it's funny. He'd be telling you, go in there, be your best form. Don't be sloppy. Go in there and get it done and make your legacy the best legacy ever. All this other stuff, I can't lie to you. This new 2021 thing about, it's all about the coins. Get all the coins you can and that's not what it used to be about. It used to be about legacy and why can't you aim to be the greatest ever lived and go for it? All this other stuff of, oh, well, I got coins and I got Instagram and it's weird. I don't get it. And it's disappointing that someone like John Fury talks about legacy and talks about prophecies and whatnot. What happened to prophecies? I've never, listen, 10 years ago, I never heard John Fury talking about the prophecy of his son beating one barely half sharp fighter, and then, or two, I'll give him credit for two. Yeah, Vlad was 1,000,000 years old, but I'll give him credit for two. Yeah, you beat Vlad, and you beat Wilder. 2 fights in 7 years? Come on. And that's the thing. I'm not saying, there was a time I'd have told you that, yep, Tyson Fury should be lucky that he's done that. But I'm not going to say, if Tyson Fury's proved that he's better than that to me now, if that makes sense. He's proved that he is good enough to do more. There was a time I'd have sat here and told you, yeah, listen, you best run off now because you don't want none. But the way the division is right now, there's nothing to say. Listen, right now, yeah, there's nothing to say. Tyson Fury wouldn't wash your man Anthony Joshua's wig for him right in the sink. Yeah, give him. There's nothing to say. Tyson Fury wouldn't wash AJ's wig nicely for him. Yeah, give him a fatherly wig washing in the sink, quick. One of them ones. Yeah. Quick wash in the sink. Wash his wig all over for him in the sink. 100%. No doubt. Call me a liar. Yeah, I'm sure AJ super fans, and listen, there was a time I'd have told you no, there's no way, but listen, we've seen a cruiserweight do it. So anyone who knows anything about boxing knows that if a cruiserweight can do it to you, anyone can do it to you. Yeah. So from Tyson Fury's point of view, at least, from an unbiased Tyson Fury point of view, he should be the world's his oyster at this point. Because Wilder ain't no good, but the facts are, neither is the rest of the division. Who's really good? Who's really dangerous? What? Dillian shot Vetkin chin? Yeah? Dillian shot Vetkin chin white. What's he going? I mean, he could do decent, but after what we saw against Povetkin, would you bet on it? Anyone who tells you they're betting on it is a bit like the Dons who bet on Billy Joe Saunders to beat Alvarez. Just delusional. If you think it's an absolute cert Dillian White beats Tyson Fury, you're delusional. The same way people who tell me that AJ or this AJ, don't get me wrong, 4 years ago, I still back that. I still back AJ versus Dillian White. I still think works Tyson Fury, but that guy's not here no more, people. Yeah? AJ fans you're stuck 5 years ago. And I gave plenty of time. I gave year after year after year. I gave moist performance after moist performance, but it's now 2021, and the trend is being confirmed, people. The trend's confirmed now. It's going down and down and down. Being washed against the cruiserweight and having no oomph and having no snapback. How much lower do you want to go? The only thing worse would have been being KO'd cold by a cruiserweight, and I mean, he wasn't far from that, was he? Another round. Look how he finished that 12th round. Another round, he'd have been done. Cold out. Yeah? Because he was exhausted. He was exhausted by... Wow, it's bad. A cruiserweight worked him to exhaustion. I've never seen a man that tired before. The only time I've seen a man more tired, they've been on their backside. Literally. AJ was at that point of any more on my back. I mean, he was literally... If you look carefully, yeah, in the 12th round... If you look carefully, he was literally sitting on the rope. I kid you not. He was that gassed, he was that gagging for oxygen because his training team ain't trained no cardio into him. They've just been pumping weights and taking Instagram photos and whatnot. Guess what? He's sitting on the ropes. That's how gassed he was. Sitting on the ropes, just sitting there, and his arms are all hanging all over, all uncoordinated looking. Wow, bad look. So yeah, right now, Tyson Fury, if I was advising you, if the number one strategician was advising you, he'd tell you, think about, I know your uncle isn't, or your, whatever it is, cousin, or, I know your uncle ain't here no more, but think about what he's saying. Yeah, he can't speak, but what would he say right now? I don't believe he'd say, nick some more coins and run off, because from what I understand, yeah, he made some money, but he weren't making millions. Yeah, you're well compensated for your risk, greatly compensated. And it's not like, I'm not being funny, I'm pretty sure he was fighting he certainly was fighting more than twice a year. And it's bare knuckle. And whatever else. So, I think in life, you got to have balance, yeah? Yes, you do need sometimes people to be, you need to not be stupid about things. Yeah, look at Mike Tyson's career, in as much as he got bumped. You don't want to be that guy. But again, it's balance. At the moment, in 2021, there's way too much Ben Davidson-ness. Oh, well, we got like Josh Taylor, or even Ben Davison with Tyson Fury. Oh, we better flap the whole fight because we're scared. And yeah, Josh Taylor was about to close out his undisputed fight in style. He could have knocked Ramirez out instead, and I believe under Shane McGuigan, Ramirez would have been knocked out cold. Instead, we got a man, Josh Taylor, wasted talent. Instead, we got a fight of him flapping for the last 4 rounds. And arguably, he nearly ended up losing the fight because he was sacking it off so much away from home. In an undisputed championship fight, to stand there and not do nothing for 4 rounds because you believe you're winning. Is that what the spirit of the sport's about? Just winning or just barely winning, or is it about just nicking a belt and not fighting? Because I don't get that. That said, I do see the other side of things where, fine, retire then. Yeah, retire. But be gone, if that makes sense. If you want to retire, no, we're not going to beg for you to hang around, but just go, innit? Just go. Don't do this whole go into court and just go and stay away. Because it'll be a big shame. But at that point, it will tell me all we need to know about this generation. Because even the best ones, like Tyson Fury, would at that point, if he did retire, it'd just be pathetic, wouldn't it? Let's be honest here. It would be pathetic. There's no pride. There's no spirit. And I think he's shown spirit and pride. I just hope that other things, I'm not sure whatever. God knows why he wouldn't want to fight Dillian Whyte. I just don't get that myself. I really don't. I don't get. Yeah. I mean, that's another $10 million? These guys are getting handed out $5-10 million for fun. People are turning it down. It's amazing, isn't it, really? Crazy. And when you think about all the other fights, like, for example, I believe Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora won, or Tyson Fury versus McDermott won. Those will probably end up being harder fights than Dillian Whyte. And he did them for what? 50 grand probably, at best. So, bottom line, Team Fury right now, Gorman. Is it Gorman? Bartley Gorman. I think it's Bartley, something like that. But that's what I'll be saying right now. Right now, Bartley Gorman, no doubt.